I'm personally a minarchist, but I have a question for you guys. If in this voluntarist society, if you have the ability to sell yourself into slavery, what prevents you from having a monopoly on labor? And if so, do any alienable rights have to exist? Therefore, that a form of government has to exist because of that.
Okay, well, I'll start to answer that question by saying that...
Can you rephrase it, or just restate it, Joe, please?
Oh, well, I heard the first part about can you sell yourself into slavery?
Yes.
Would there then be like this one guy that owns half the people or a bunch of people, something like that, right? I think I missed the end of the question, but can I just answer that part of it first?
Go ahead.
All right. Because you own yourself, no one else can own you, and it's a fact because no one can control your body. You're the only person that can control your body, and the definition of ownership is someone that has exclusive use over some sort of property, and property is just like the stuff out there. So because your brain is the only thing that can control you, no one can own you. People can use an external force to coerce you into doing something, but no one can actually own you and own your body. It's like kicking a rock and saying that because it's moving, it has its own ownership. If someone puts a gun into your face and says, do this, and you do it, it doesn't mean that they own you. It just means that they're using an external force to get you to do something.
But Nozick would argue that it'd be a voluntary action to sell yourself into slavery. So therefore you could do it.
But you would also be able to opt out of that, so it wouldn't really be slavery.
It wouldn't be slavery by definition.
An exchange of labor.
An exchange of labor is fine. I mean,
if you voluntarily exchange your labor for nothing, that's a voluntary exchange of your labor for nothing. That's not slavery. You made a voluntary exchange for that labor in return for nothing.
What I'm saying is, let's say I sell my labor, okay, but they're going to provide me shelter, housing, everything, exactly what the plantation owner could do.
Okay.
Okay. If I was a voluntary action for me to agree to enter into a slave-like condition, that could exist in a voluntary society. So if that could exist, are my rights inalienable? Should I have inalienable rights? That means that my rights have to be have to be protected not only from other people infringing it, but from myself infringing it. That's why government has to exist. To prevent from myself infringing on my own rights.
Maybe we need a definition of your own rights.
Okay, so for example,
as quickly as you can, please.
So let's say for example, when I sell myself into slavery, I could potentially infringe on my own rights, but it's a voluntary
Which rights
action.
would that be? Which rights would those be?
My liberties. For example, I'll infringe on my liberties.
So the slavery you're talking about, the arrangement you're talking about, the person is going to hold you hostage. You're not going to be able to leave that place?
No, I can voluntarily, I've entered a contract that I voluntarily entered.
Yeah.
But it's a term contract. Let's say it's 7 years. Okay? But I've also signed away my liberties in doing so. But it's a voluntary action. Understand?
Yes.
Then it's not a violation of your rights because you voluntarily entered into it.
Okay, but it could potentially harm my own liberties.
Well, so you can harm yourself. I mean, that's not up to you.
Okay, exactly. So then there could be a potential market monopoly on labor.
No.
Was that a monopoly? You chose to enter that contract.
How would there be a monopoly? It sounds like...
Contracts do not have to be enforced by specific performance.
Yeah, and again, how many people are going to exchange their labor for nothing? I mean, it's just not going to happen. So it's a false dichotomy. Your example is a false dichotomy. It's just not, in no way, shape, or form is it going to happen.